Welcome to Teaching Truth. Who among us cannot forget that terrible morning, September the 11th, 2001, when two commercial airliners were deliberately flown into the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center as part of a terrorist attack on the United States of America. As a result, there was a progressive collapse of the Twin Towers and the death of almost 3,000 people. The North Tower was the first tower to be hit by American Airlines Flight 11 when it crashed into it at 8:46 a.m., causing it to collapse at 10:28 a.m. after burning for 1 hour and 42 minutes. At 9:03 a.m., the South Tower was struck by United Airlines Flight 175, and it collapsed at 9:59 a.m. after burning for 56 minutes. The destruction of the Twin Towers caused major devastation throughout Lower Manhattan, and more than a dozen adjacent and nearby structures were damaged or destroyed by debris from the impact of the aircraft and the collapse of the towers. Toxic powder from the destroyed Twin Towers was dispersed throughout New York City, visible even from space. It was a day that truly changed the world forever. But 9/11 and the fall of the Twin Towers, the collapse of the Twin Towers, will be nothing to another day that will change the world forever. The collapse not of the Twin Towers, but the collapse of commercial Babylon, that which will be brought down and destroyed. As seen by John as he records for us in Revelation 18, as seen by John in his vision, not on Staten Island near New York City, but on the island of Patmos. New York City on that fateful day, September the 11th, 2001, was burning as a result of the collapse of the Twin Towers. And in Revelation 18, in an altogether different sense, Babylon's burning. And Babylon's burning is the overarching theme for our reflections this week as we dig into the narrative of Revelation 18. And for our opening reflection today, we want to think about the description of Babylon. Now, before we launch into Revelation 18, take your mind back to last week, to Revelation 17. Last week, we're thinking in Revelation 17 about the harlot church, the church without the Spirit of God, mystery Babylon. The symbol there was a harlot woman. They were guilty of religious abominations. Whereas when we talk here in Revelation 18, we're not talking about mystery Babylon. What we are talking about is commercial and economic Babylon. The symbol here is not a harlot woman, but it is a great city, identified with a coastal port city. And in Revelation 17, where the guilt was associated with religious abominations, the guilt here is associated with greed and self-indulgence. Babylon here, again, just to paint the picture for the backdrop of Revelation 18, is described as the center of the anti-Christian kingdom from a royal and from a legislative point of view. The laws that rule all the nations, all the people on earth, will be issued forth from Babylon. Now, we're not told in the text whether a person would be head of this world power, this commercial and economic Babylon. But if there is to be such a person, he or she almost inevitably and by default would dwell in Babylon. Babylon is the throne of the Antichrist. Babylon is described here as the heart and centre of all world trade and commerce, the home of industry and the arts. Take Babylon away and all industry and all commerce will be gone. We read in the passage about gold and silver, fine linen and purple, silk and scarlet, necessities and luxuries, merchants dealing in trade. Commercial Babylon is what is being described here. And it's commercial Babylon that's being judged at the end of the period of the tribulation. Babylon is falling. Babylon is burning. The twin towers, as it were, of Babylon are collapsing. This passage is very much in the style of the Old Testament prophecies of doom regarding wicked cities. You just need to read Isaiah 13 and 14 and Isaiah 21 to see the relation to Babylon. Babylon, is it a symbolic city? Well, some have thought it to be a future rebuilt Babylon on the Euphrates River in the Middle East. A desolate desert as it is now in modern day Iraq. And isn't it interesting that many years ago, the then Saddam Hussein was outspoken in his desire to resurrect the ruined city of Babylon in all its glory. Now, he obviously failed, but it is conceivable that a rebuilt Babylon could be a world economic centre, especially when you think about the wealth of Mideast oil. Just think Abu Dhabi and the luxury of Dubai. But so far, Babylon, if it is to be there, has not been rebuilt. And so Revelation 18 describes for us the fact that economic and commercial Babylon will fall, will be burnt, as it were, to the ground. The twin towers, as it were, of commercial and economic Babylon will end in a total collapse. Man is on a one-way ticket to self-destruction. And that is the subtext of Revelation 18 as we think about Babylon, this city of selfishness and greed. Join me tomorrow in Teaching Truth as we dig underneath the topsoil of Revelation 18 and consider the declaration that was made to commercial Babylon.